Conclusions. All right, live. All right, Jelani, get your laptop going. We're learning about conclusions right now. All right. Conclusions, just like introductions, gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna give you a conclusion that relates to that same Hamlet essay that I was using as a model. First, just like introductions, what's the purpose of a conclusion? What do you think? Raise your hand. Give me one thing, Jelani.
To conclude the story detail, like the last paragraph, like the summary.
Somehow summarize, right? Yes, absolutely.
Like to
Pull everything back together. Good. And
To restate some of your main points.
Good. Restating your main points, especially what? Your thesis. There you go. That you got the first part of the conclusion, which is rephrasing the claim or restating the thesis. The other part of the conclusion that you may have done before, but I want to stress to you, is there's really just two parts. One is rephrasing the claim. You are not, by the way, taking your thesis and plugging in synonyms for each word of your thesis statement, or paraphrasing your thesis. You are rephrasing. It's a little different. The other part of the conclusion, question? We're going to go over that in a second. I promise. I bet you'll answer your question. The other part of a conclusion, part two of the two parts, is not blank, not rephrase here. Leave an impression of importance and value. Another way of saying that is at the end of your essay, you want to ask yourself or picture someone over your shoulder asking you, so what? So you wrote this essay about lovers in the woods. What's the point? What's the main thing you want us to know about life because of it?
real life.
Real life, yes. So you want, and speaking of which, we're going to go into like how you actually do want to connect this now back to life itself. Because Midsummer Night's Dream is not, it's really silly. I mean, it's a silly story anyway, but it's really silly if it has no connection to our lives, right? So here we go. Here's some examples. So this was the thesis I gave you last class. In Hamlet, Shakespeare uses several characters to explore the way people can appear one way, but internally be something much different. This is about, so Hamlet's about, people being deceiving and lying to each other. That was the thesis. So, let's go into the conclusion. The conclusion. So again, keywords here: Shakespeare, several characters, the way people can appear one way. Here's my rephrasing. This is the first part of my conclusion. When Hamlet begins his journey, these experiences, a myriad of ways. I'm not paraphrasing my thesis. I'm restating. It's almost like if someone asked me, "What is this thesis all about? What's the purpose of it? What do you mean by the thesis? Could you explain the thesis to me?" This is my explanation of that thesis. Yep.
So back on the other side, there was the.
Yep.
I know it doesn't have to back, but in history, it's kind of.
I want, and this goes for, I think, 90% of English teachers in high school and college, the thesis is usually one major sentence. Good. Oh, there we go. All right. I guess we'll stop it.
No, there's some